will be voicing Mario and his friends in the movie. First, of course, is Mario, who will be played by Chris Pratt.
This was the day that Mario fans around the world all shouted, "What the actual Seriously, there's no secret that people around the world doubted the Mario movie as soon as the voice cast got announced. Then we got the first trailer and things started to turn around a little bit. Bowser looked good, the little penguin guys looked good. I mean, it was starting to go together well. And then we heard Mario and everyone completely denied it. Toad also kind of sounded good in this trailer, but then everything kind of changed later in the first posters, and people were starting to accept it. And not to mention, Luigi hardly showed up in this trailer, and everyone was still willing to give it a shot. But by the time we got that second trailer, no one cared about the voice casting anymore. We saw freaking Donkey Kong in that trailer, and all of us wanted to hear Seth Rogen laugh. We also got Mario Kart in the trailer, if that didn't already kind of boost our excitement. And then not too long after, we got to see Peach, who then looked pretty good, I will say myself. And now, after I've seen the movie, man, why didn't we just trust Illumination with this? I mean, they did really good as far as I will say. Because after walking out of it, the Mario movie, I enjoyed it. And if you're someone who's been playing Mario about as long as I have, it kinda makes it better for you. Like, nostalgia kind of gives you more passion about the movie versus no nostalgia. But one thing I want to go ahead and let's get into the review, and I want to say expectations going into it were kind of high. The one thing that was low for me was Chris Pratt as Mario, and I'm glad to report Chris Pratt did not screw it up. I was terrified that he would do bad. I mean, we all thought he would do bad, but yeah, like all the Easter eggs that were in this movie, we're talking spoiler free for right now, but all the Easter eggs that were in this movie, all the great things I want to talk about, were amazing. I mean, the movie was pretty good in my opinion, if we're talking family side, but it definitely did have its problems. Like, for one, Seth Rogen bid on Donkey Kong. I mean, some people hated him. I didn't really have too much, like, I wasn't picturing Seth Rogen the whole time like most people were, but like the thing about him is we never really get a Donkey Kong voice. Usually all we hear is like monkey sounds. So yeah, I'm not used to a Donkey Kong voice, so that didn't really bother me as much. And before we get on the positives, I have one more thing that slightly bothered me about it, and it was just the fact that Illumination put pop songs, and I was like, hopefully this time they won't do it. But no, like, I don't consider, like, they use songs like I Need a Hero, Take on Me by a Hodge, like, that was pointless. Like, I'm trying to keep this spoiler free, but Illumination don't use pop songs in a movie from Japan. Like, that was kind of frustrating. Like, thankfully none of them were like new, like when I say pop songs, but everyone's thinking like they're gonna play like movies they used in like in Minions. Like, they even used Thunderstruck at one point, and I was like, okay, it kind of fits, but yeah. But now we're gonna go ahead and talk about some of my positives. And biggest positive, Jack Black's freaking Bowser, man. He knocked it out of the park. I mean, Jack Black had the voice. Like, he had done animated movies before, like Kung Fu Panda, but he literally just played himself in this movie. He got deep into characters, started like deepening his voice, and I just love the boy's performance as Bowser. And not to mention Charlie's Day's Luigi was good. Chris Pratt's Mario, I think it was fine. Anya Taylor-Joy. Give her an Oscar nomination, man. That was awesome, but no one did as good as Jack Black, in my opinion. Visual effects were amazing, but what I want to talk about next is that really made me like it was the pacing. It's kind of a guilty pleasure thing, but I actually had a complaint about the Mario movie's pacing. You just haven't played the games. Like, I mean, does the Mario movie really need to be paced out? Like, in the games, you're constantly moving the plot forward. Like, there's no real character development. You're just going on and on. So I think that's kind of like a useless move. I get the games are long, but you're constantly moving in the games, just like here. And another thing I would like to credit this movie on is the world build-up. Like, I know the pacing's kind of like a guilty pleasure type part about it, but the world, the Mushroom Kingdom is such a cool world. And even if you hated this movie for being a kid's movie, I think you would like it because of how cool the Mushroom Kingdom is. I mean, just like the different suits, the abilities, the way this place looks, like all the references to other ones. And also just like Mario Kart, the DK jungle. Like, this is a world where you just take a flower and you can power up and, like, start shooting stuff up. And that sounded horrible. That was a terrible sentence. But we live in this is a world where there's Toads, there's Yoshis, and it somehow all makes sense. Another thing I would like to credit about it is definitely Mario and Luigi's brotherly relationship. I know Luigi's locked up for a majority of the movie, I would say, about a good 70% of it. But once he gets out of there, it is a reward because Charlie Day, you knocked it out of the park as Luigi, man. And another thing I want to say is, like, I don't know what we were expecting. We were told Seth Rogen was going to voice Donkey Kong, but we had no idea who was going to voice Cranky Kong, and I don't really want to say who it is, because I feel like people would want to be, like, surprised by it in the theaters. But dang, Cranky Kong was actually a pretty big part of this movie. And I really just enjoyed Cranky Kong, if I'm being honest with you. The Toads were a cool part of the movie. I like the world, like them talking about the different kingdoms at some points. Like, it's just a fun little part. And if I'm being honest, like, there's so many little cameos, references, characters in the background, like, where you're looking everywhere for stuff. Like, from the moment these guys arrive to the Mushroom Kingdom, like, you're like, dang, the trailers did not do this enough justice as it gets. Because in the movie, the scenes look gorgeous. They look, like, amazing. Like, I can't stretch enough how good these scenes look in the movie compared to the trailers, because the trailers were just not doing this movie justice. I really enjoyed the Super Mario movie. I'm about to go meme rank it, and yeah, I mean, there is its problems, which I will talk about in my spoiler review later today, which I am planning, or possibly, and I'm going to see if I can get some friends on it, and then we can have, like, a talk on a panel. And yeah, I can't wait to do my spoiler review. I'm sorry for not getting a Shazam one out. I just didn't have time, man. But Mario fans, I highly recommend this. If you're not, you'll be like, okay, this is just an average kids movie. But if you are a Mario fan, go check this out right now. So let's just go ahead and meme rank it.
Hey, that's pretty good.